pray. Now also, if you're watching this video, sorry docs, Standard Process has asked us to do a video recording of our office. And so I want to simplify, right? And so I do this podcast and webcast once a week. I'm going to combine those two. So I'm going to be talking to doctors on a lot of these and how we utilize nutrition and Standard Process in our practice, and hopefully that'll help whoever's watching it, doctors, whoever. So anyway, this is Dr. Traveler, and I'm going to show you our office for healthology experts. So let's go in. All right, this is our waiting room right here. As you can tell, lots of chairs. This is where patients come in and do all their check-ins. So if you notice, as we talk about nutrition, we don't use any magazines. I'm sure that other people have told you that. We don't use magazines. We have cookbooks. We have books about the quality of Standard Process products or other products that we carry. We've got posters up on the wall. During the day, we have different videos playing for either laser therapy or nutrition or sometimes music if they get sick of that. But education, right? Lots of cookbooks. We make lots of copies during the day. So as we keep on going here, this is where patients check out, and we'll just kind of mosey on around. We'll end up back into here, and so I'll answer all the questions when we get in there. Again, as we walk around the hall, you come in. We've got some more patient education on purification, and then right when new patients come in, we've got where new patients come in to get weight, blood pressure, pulse ox, temperature, all the good stuff, all the vitals. All right, and then we're just going to keep cruising around here. This first room that we have in here, this is, we use this as an exam room. Sometimes we'll have a computer to come in, do ranges of motion. This is where we do a lot of our nutrition. Again, we've got posters up to educate people about herbs. In multiple rooms, we've got this little poster, and I'm sure many of you have seen it if you use Standard Process, but if not, great thing about how the nerves work with nutrition and just how they work in general. A lot of patients look at this, and when they're having problems in their back in specific areas, then they'll look at that poster and it'll answer a lot of them. So acupuncture, nutrition, and exam in here. All right, kind of our small, this is a small room. Then we cruise around here. These two rooms are Dr. Williams. He jumps back and forth into there. And so that's where he does his magic. This is my room right here. I just utilize this room. I use the Pro Adjuster. That's a big reason why. So for the patients that need that, I've got access to that in here. I use a lot of flexion, and if you look, again, I can only answer for me, posters, right? So as patients, as I'm talking with patients, this one is about brain. As you see, you may be familiar with them. This one's about stress. Lots of patients, and really in our practice, we talk a lot about stress, physical stress, chemical stress, emotional stress, and how that can affect you. And then we've got another purification poster up here. So this is my room, and I think that should answer most of it. Pro Adjuster, diversified, Cox flexion distraction. That's most of what I do. Okay, then as we keep on coming around here, we've got one massage therapist room. I don't know if you necessarily have to go in there. Sometimes we utilize that for acupuncture as well. Right across the hall from that is where we have our PA. So we're kind of moving stuff around in there, so that's kind of sloppy. Don't shoot too much in there, right? But we got a PA that practices. We're actually, I'll tell you right now, we put an offer in on another space. So maybe I can redo this video, and I will for the podcast and webcast to introduce our new building, but we're gonna have the other building rock and roll, and even better than this one. This room right here we utilize for acupuncture again. We also have a second Pro Adjuster where if Dr. Williams needs that, or if Dr. Hatch, he's our new doc and holding the camera. Yeah, he's just giving thumbs up. But he's learning this, and so we may be expanding with that too. We like using a lot of hands-on and the instruments too to prolong our careers and also for patient benefit. This is the laser room. This gets utilized pretty much all day. We've got an MLS laser. We also do decompression in this room. We should probably have more patient education in this room, but it is what it is for right now. All right. As we cruise around here, we've got a foot zoner. Alicia's our foot zoner. This is her room right here. So if you're familiar with that, this is Brian, our other massage therapist. He's got his room right in here. And then we'll kind of fly by this. Bathroom. So you don't need to know too much about that. Kitchen. Kitchen stuff. This is a storage room. You can look in there if you want, but it's a storage room, so it's going to be sloppy. And as we come around here, in this area we've got all of our therapies. So therapies, we've got our E-stem, ultrasound, we've got an ATM, and also obviously in here we've got the nutrition first aid cabinet. So this one, if people are having any issues, any deficiencies that are leading to signs or symptoms, we've got that patient education tool, and then again the spinal level poster that works really well with nutrition. So lots of questions. As we come around here, also notice, sorry, the lighting's kind of poor right here. We've got the lights, but the purification, kind of the same, 6 habits, and then brain power. So bring up lots and lots of questions. In here, we've got Dr. Hatch's room. Not a lot in here because he just moved in. He's only been here for a few weeks, so we've got to put some more stuff in here right now. We've got nice acupuncture posters because this was an acupuncture room until he moved in. All right, then we're going to come right back here at the beginning, another bathroom, and then we're going to come up to the front desk. Now the reason why we say we'll end here is because this is where we have, so he's going to kind of cruise around here. This is where we have all of our products. So just having the products out is really quite helpful, as you can see. So patients will come in from either check in or check out. They'll be able to see the bottles. We also have these display cases over here. Oh, by the way, this back here is just notes. We've got our biller back there, doctor's offices for doing notes. So there's just computers and stuff back there. But that's what we've got. So we've got all of our standard bars. We've got our genetic testing. We've got all kind of the different tests that we have. Other products, we've got t-shirts and all the rubs and gels and everything that we can sell. The tape, we do a lot of taping, and so we sell a lot of tape. So that's basically our office. Now that was really fast. They want me to answer a few questions, so I'll answer those to the best of my ability. I'll be honest, we practice from the heart. We try to have a lot of systems in place, but our systems, you know, I'm sure anyone who's practicing or is familiar with anything in life, you know, you get reality and then you get the test of what actually happens. So the first question is, why nutrition? I mean, to me, we try to run a very functional practice. So nutrition to me, I don't know how you couldn't do some sort of nutrition. We do a lot of nutritional counseling as far as diet and things. One thing that we use a lot of, I mean, we've got a lot of the cookbooks. We've got, you know, paleo or ketogenic stuff out there. If you're looking and you just need something simple, we've got a bunch of these up here, and I grab these all the time. These are just the book for purification program. Now the reason why you can use this is because when patients just go, hey, I eat horribly, which most people do, so they say, I don't eat very well. You just give them one of these books and you say, on page 10, so as I say, the diet of what you should eat starts on page 10. It's, it is not like a paleo, it's more kind of a Mediterranean type diet is the way that I describe it. But I say if you're just starting out, try and follow that diet to the best you can. Now the cool part about that is then you give them this book and then they read it and they say, wow, I have a lot of these signs and symptoms of, you know, do you eat processed foods? Do you not eat organic? Do you drink a lot of soda? They start to read the whole book and then they come back with a lot of questions. There's also a lot of recipes that you tell them about in the back. So this is a nice tool that you can get a ton of these. I believe I haven't made an order for a little while, but when I did make the order, they were free. So if they're still free, which I think they are, you just order a bunch of these and hand these out, and that gets people thinking about supplements and the purification program, but it also gives your patients a nice diet. Okay, and then having all of the products out here works really good. So again, why nutrition? You just, if you want people to get better, they've got to implement those things. To me, the big three: sleep, nutrition, exercise, along with, you know, what we do in here with adjustments and acupuncture and all the treatments, and then and meditation and all the good stuff. But those are the big three, and so you've got to just, you have to implement it. in my opinion. And that's really the opinion of all the docs in our practice. The top 3 things so they wanted me to share the top 3 things that we use. Again, it feels to me kind of scattered, and I'll talk really quick about at the end kind of some mistakes. I think to me, there's a few things, top 3. First of all, as I said before, patient education. Patients will read the posters, they'll read what you got out there, and then they ask questions. And so just let people know by what's on your walls and everything that you know stuff about nutrition, and they'll ask you those questions. Number 2, we use the expert nutrition advisors. Have been doing that for a long time. These are just tear-off sheets. We talked to people a lot of our patients about taking a system survey. So if you're watching this video and you're in the St. George area and you want to take a system survey, which tells you how each one of the systems in your body is working and how you can nutritionally help with that, we can take this, tear off a sheet, fill it out, tell them what videos to watch, and then that's a really fast way to get patients to be educated and to ask more questions. And then on the back has every supplement, and there's a quick little video. Dr. Gaeta put those together, and I really like that. We use this a lot. So that's probably patient education, the expert nutrition advisors, and then we utilize a lot. I think my other tool, and I was just trying to brainstorm, my other tool is the practitioner guide. In here, if we just have any questions, so if you are brand new, or even I use it all the time. So if you have any problems with anything, hot flashes. So that's, popped up hot flashes. Now you have to tell the patient, because this is really true, that we are not treating the hot flashes. There's a deficiency that they have related to hot flashes, and so we want to fill those deficiencies so those signs and symptoms will go away. And so we like using the best. I always say I'll typically use just 1 or 2, maybe 3. So on this list, I'll use the first 1 or 2, and then an herb. The herbs are in italics, and we use that. And so really simple. Now, I think the big reason why we do that, and you may have, if you try to do nutrition, it's time. Okay, we just don't have a whole lot of time. We have 15-minute treatment times, and we can get a lot done, but the problem when we started doing nutrition is it could go on forever. And so you could talk to patients, and it's great to talk to them, but then you end up having scheduling problems. And so that was really a big challenge that we ran into. So we tried to get these quick things that you could have a patient, educate them, say, hey, go watch this, and on your next visit, let's talk about it a little bit. So that, I'd say those are our big 3. Just general patient education, expert nutritions, and the practitioner guide. What advice? So if you've never done nutrition and you want to start, I was an independent contractor in another office, and I just got a little shelf, probably about this size, and I bought kind of my basics. I bought a few supplements. I didn't have a lot of money to spend. Young doctor, didn't have a lot, and I put it just right there where I practiced. No other doctors in the office did it, and so if you want to do it, that's what I would say. Just jump up, buy a few, buy maybe 10 or 20 products, 1 or 2 of each of those, and then just talk about them. And as patients, they look up and say, well, what does this do? And you can kind of say, this is the nutrition that I would tell you, if you take this, even if you just use a Catalin. The other thing that we use a lot of, I'm kind of shooting from the hip here, the general health. So if you just had like a general health box, we go through these like crazy for people that don't want to fully commit, but they know that they need to eat something better, and they know that their supplements are junk, so you give them just a general health box, and that works great as well. So I would just say buy a few of the basics and put it right where you are, so that while you're treating, it's right there and you can point at it, and just, I kind of started just, a few bottles at a time, and then it just grew and grew and grew, and now it's gotten almost too big. So that takes me to the next one, the mistake. So the biggest mistake that I think we made was, I think, just the growing too. It's hard to figure out how to grow. And really, if you ask, the tailors who are kind of our mentors, they're the ones who are kind of sending this to, and Roxanne, we probably drive them crazy because they see lots of potential, and we know we have potential to help so many people, but it's time. And what we did, we brought in people who were educated in nutrition, but then to be able to pay them, and it's that growth. Like, we couldn't afford them, and so it ended up being a hard thing where we had to let people go because we couldn't afford the nutrition person. And so then it fell on us, and we didn't have time. And so we found quick ways to do it. I really haven't figured out the perfect remedy. We've got a lot of our girls up front that are interested in nutrition, and so it's to educate them, and as one kind of gloms onto it and is interested in nutrition, I think we've got one gal named Mary. I think we're going to start to educate her a little bit more in standard process because she already has a lot of that background. But it's hard, that growth, it's hard to get past kind of the stage that we're at and into the really big stage, in my opinion, of helping a whole lot of people, because right now we are kind of dabbling in it. But get out there, try and implement as best you can. I promise that it's going to help you with your patient outcomes if you've never done it. And if you have been doing it, I mean, we still have lots of things to grow. And I guarantee that the tailors are going to watch this and be like, you guys, you're not doing half the stuff that we taught you. That's just, that's where we're at. We do one thing at a time. So, this is Dr. Traveler talking about nutrition, and I am signing out.